What's up everyone, Cyrus here, welcome back to another video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoy, all that stuff. Let's get right into it. Today we've got a tier list video, ranking all the skills for Scroll Trial boss battles. First up we've got Fire, pretty solid option. Good damage here, the overtime effect is pretty nice, and the pure damage is a lot better on a boss battle. Insta-kill Ball. F tier doesn't work on the bosses, and the minions generally aren't that big of an issue. Even if they are, they're probably going to mess up your combo if you hit them with an insta-kill. After that, laser combo. Lasers aren't quite as useful here as they are normally. Combos, even less. Bombs fall into that same category, but the pure damage can be alright if you hit a boss with minions nearby. Pure damage is pretty solid here, but it's harder to activate on a boss battle. At times. Fire, pure damage upgrade. Damage is what you need here. That said, the final one, 300 times on only the last ball, which is probably normal, isn't going to help you much. It's a little bit better than it is in a stage battle, but it's not saying much. And vertical is just a bit better than horizontal, but not much difference. Drill Ball has a little bit of use in stage battles, but the damage is low. You're only going to hit once or twice, and unless you're fighting a summoner, you really don't have those big stretches that you'll need to take care of. After that, upgrade Freeze. Freeze is amazing against bosses, completely locking him down, shutting him out, keeping him where you want it to. If you aren't fighting the specific boss that's immune to it, it's one of the best choices to get two of those. That said, lasers. Upgrading to it is a bit better than just having it as a combo. They don't do all that much here. That said, the ball is just slightly better as you get an extra ball for more damage. Missiles come in not quite as high as they normally do on stage battles. A little bit lower here. The damage is still solid, hitting minions is solid, but your focus on taking down a boss is just a little bit less useful. Still a really solid choice. And pure damage on the first one, not as good as the rest of the B tier, but it's still a solid option. Strength is way lower rated than it is in stage battles. You don't get all that much time to build up. Rounds aren't going to last that long. Really not much of an effect. Death missiles. Death effects generally aren't that great. And this one is also pretty subpar, especially on a stage with less monsters. Combos, missiles. It's about where the lasers are, a little bit better since you can target with it and you can guarantee to actually hit something. But that's about all you got. Next up, you don't really take ice for the damage and it doesn't do too much else for you. It's okay, since you'll probably have a lot of freeze balls every time you can pick them up. That's the only reason it's C tier. Moving on, we've got 2 more fireballs, pretty solid. Invincible cover. This one is probably one of the only defensive ones worth taking. It can help you absorb a lot of the hits that might take you out otherwise. Put it at the bottom end of A tier. Missile Ball is just above Upgrade Missile. Extra damage, targets still pretty solid, not as good as it is in stage. HP up is not very helpful here. It's a little bit better since the boost might be enough to just bring you above dying. That's the only time it's useful, but that can come up pretty often in boss battles. Revive. Solid, but you probably won't need it. Great if you do. Good enough that you do it, probably bottom of A tier. But, Freeze Ball. S tier, freezing it is amazing. A little bit lower here since freezing is the bigger gain, and you want to keep the boss locked down. Either one though is one you'll definitely want to take. Burst Flame, not really helpful. It's nice though. Tack Up, not even as good as a Drill Ball. It's barely noticeable, doesn't do too much for you. Next up is Upgrade Lightning. We got all 3 lightnings in a row here. Lightning is pretty solid here, you don't have to line it up like the lasers. It just jumps to the near one that'll probably be pretty scattered. Put it at the top of B tier, it's definitely a solid choice. It's not quite up there with reviving and being invincible. And it doesn't quite hit the damage the other ones do. With that Lightning Master, really solid if you've got a bunch of lightning, not much else if you don't. Which is just about where the lightning ball is. Put it a little above the upgrade since you get an extra ball for more damage. More balls is generally better. But that's all that is. Black hole ball is not too great here. You won't have as many walls that you need to break through. And the ones you do have, it's probably not going to help. I'd say it's still better than strength. It's a good bit of damage against a boss or a particularly annoyingly placed enemy. That's about all it's got for you. Recovery's a bit better here than it is normally. With all the HP that bosses drop, you can farm yourself back up. That's the only use it's got. It's not going to help you offensively. It's not going to take down the boss. It's alright, it's nice to have. And you don't really get enough skills for Black Hole Ball to be, or Void Missile to be useful. You're not going to pick up that many Black Hole Balls. And if you are, you're probably missing out on something much better. Combo off. You won't get many combos, and the ones you do, you probably don't need percent offs for them. But Fireball combo, pretty solid. I put it above that first one at least, but it doesn't do too much else for you. Missile Master is always an S tier. If you have a few missiles, this thing cleans up. The only reason it doesn't go higher than freeze is keeping the boss locked down is way more important. And if there's only the boss on the screen, you're probably not going to be cloning many missiles. Split Ball. It's not quite as good here. It's a solid way to keep a couple extra balls in there, hit a few minions. It'll put a little bit extra damage on the board, but it won't do too much else for you. Death Lightning. Death effects already aren't great, and the lightning one is one of the weakest. Not as bad as a Drill Ball, but it's not great. Combat Ball is a solid bit of damage. In the very specific circumstance, it's a boss that gets close to you, and you can keep it there without dying. Bottom of C tier. Probably don't want too many lasers, but if you've got lasers, this one solidly buffs them. C tier. And like most of the lasers, they're pretty similar. This one gets a little bit higher for being vertical, which tends to be a little bit more useful, though not much. Ice Combo. Nice, solid way to keep things locked down. And it's just a little bit more useful than the defensive options. Stopping them from attacking is better than occasionally stopping attacks. And Backstab Ball. This one is amazing in boss battles. You can line up the angles with the corners just right to really hammer on some damage up top. I think it's just enough to put it bottom of S tier, top of A tier. I think getting so much damage on the boss really puts this up. Normally it's not a great ability, but in this one particular instance, just hammering away at bosses, being able to do the backstab is vital. Then Double Edge. Still not great. Which is just about how Thunder Combo is. It's better than Double Effect though. Sniper Ball. It's a little bit extra damage. Bosses are more likely to stay away from you. At least the ones that are challenging, so you can stay there. Shadow Clone is always pretty solid. I think I would rank it above Missile Ball here at least. You want to have a bunch of balls bouncing around, but freezing a boss is just a little more important. Combo Bomb. I feel similarly to the Black Hole combo as I do about the Bomb combo. It's extra damage, it's nice, nothing special, not terrible. Not terrible. Speaking of terrible, Death Laser. You are super unlikely to hit anything. Death effects aren't great in general. Might even be worse than lightning here. At least lightning will hit something. Normal Ball up. Hasn't gotten any better. Special Ball, still pretty bad. Though it is a little above laser. At least you can buff the Backstab Ball to do a ton of damage. Combo stays low, and it's only hitting D tier because Shadow Clone and Ice exist. And a repeat. Well, looks like that's everything. Went through this one a lot quicker than I did for the last one. Thank you all for the support on the last one, this one too. Make a comment if you agree, disagree with any of this. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know what you think. See y'all in the next one.